Hey guys, so I had an old video that I recorded last year from Google SketchUp for Schools. It's still going to stay up, but I thought I would break the video down into some more simple parts for you guys. So what you've got here is you've got my desktop, or actually it's just a tab open on my computer, and I'm going to show you guys how to navigate to Google SketchUp for Schools, which is an application that you all are going to have access to as long as you're logged in on your school account. And then two, we're going to talk about the basic tools that you need to use this program. We're going to do a project based around this program. So this is our basic walkthrough of the program. Okay. So first thing, see my mouse icon. It's always good to use a mouse when you're using SketchUp for Schools. So I'm going to go up here to what's called the waffle. I'm going to click on that, and this is going to bring up all of my Chrome extensions. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. And then there's this Chrome extension on all of our Chromebooks that says SketchUp for Schools. It's this blue sort of cubey looking deal. Now you're going to press this. Okay, mine is going to open up because I've already opened up SketchUp for Schools in here. Yours might ask you to sign in with Google. If it asks you to sign in with Google, sign in with your school account. Select that account, hit sign in, and then it's going to bring up a separate screen that says allow. When it says allow, say yes, and it's going to access all of your Google Drive and everything, and it'll save all of your files in that Google Drive. Okay, so then it's going to open up your home screen. Now, you guys, my home screen's got a bunch of stuff on it. Okay, your home screen won't have anything on it unless you've done SketchUp with me before or in another class. Okay, so this will be your home screen, and then you can click on projects to open, or what we're going to do is I'm going to go to create new. So that's going to bring down a drop-down menu, and it's going to ask me for a simple template, feet and inches, simple template in meters, or simple template in millimeters. Since we are in America and most of us are used to using feet and inches, that's probably what we're going to choose. So I'm going to click on that, simple template, feet and inches, and it's taking a minute. There it goes. Okay, so it's simple template, feet and inches, and this is what's going to bring up. So what you see in front of you is your SketchUp world. Okay, so this is the horizon. This is your x-axis, or excuse me, your x-axis, your y-axis, and then this is your z-axis. So this is up and down, left and right, front and back, or you could call it north, south, east, west, and then vertical. Okay, so that's what you're looking at. And this guy right here, he's a special guy. His name is, let me get his name up. His name is Dr. Temple Grandin. He's actually somebody. He's got something to do with SketchUp, but I don't know exactly what. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of show you how this world works. So the very first thing that we have to understand when we are in Google SketchUp is that this is a three-dimensional world. Okay, now I'm going to zoom in. There's a button that I can press over here on the side, okay, if I want to navigate around this world, or I can just use my mouse. So I'm going to hold it up. I got a wireless mouse that I'm using. I'm going to use this mouse, and there's a roller in the middle of this mouse. I'm going to put my arrow, I'm going to zoom in on his face. So I'm going to put my arrow on his face, and I'm going to roll forward. This is going to zoom wherever the arrow is pointing. Now I'm going to roll backwards, and this is going to zoom out on wherever it's pointing. If I wanted to zoom in on his feet, I put the arrow on his feet, and I zoom in, and now I can see his feet. And I want to zoom out, okay? And that's going to return me from where I was. Now, another thing that you need to know is how to move around in the 3D world, okay? So you'll see this axis, this north, south, east, west, up, down axis. You'll see this move as I'm doing this. But what I'm going to do is, instead of rolling the zoom button or the roller on the mouse, I'm going to press it down, because it's actually a button if you didn't know that. I'm going to press it down, and it's going to bring up my icon. It's going to change my icon to the orbit tool. And you can see what I can do is I can move around above, below, and around my object. And you'll notice that this guy is turning with me. We're going to get rid of him in a minute. But this is my orbit tool. Okay, so I'm pressing down on the roller button and it's bringing up my orbit. Finally, I'm going to zoom in to Mr. Temple here, and I'm going to press the roller button and the left click button. So pressing, it's going to bring up the orbit. Left click's going to bring up a hand. So if I hold those two buttons down together, it's going to allow me to move left, right, up, down, diagonally without rotating around the guy. It just allows me to move up and down. It's called the pan tool. So we've got our zoom where we roll, our orbit where we press down, and our pan where we press down and left click. These are all helpful navigation tools that you need for this program in order to move around in your world. Now, I'm going to take my pointer, my select tool, I'm going to click on Dr. Temple, and I'm going to hit the delete button. Now, he's gone, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get rid of him, and now I'm going to create something in this world, okay? So as far as the basic tools go in this program, we have a toolbar on the left. You can see where my mouse is rolling over it. The toolbar on the left is going to be our basic tool set. We've got erasers and paint buckets and pencils and this weird archy thing and this square looking deal and this crazy looking tool. Okay, we're going to learn how to use some of these tools in this video. Okay, very simplistic, easy stuff. Okay, so the first tool that you always need to learn how to use in Google SketchUp is the shape tool. So if I go over here, I'll hover over it, it's going to say rectangle. If I click it one time, it's going to bring up a series of different things that I can select. I want to select the rectangle, and what that's going to do is it's going to bring up a blue small rectangle with a pencil attached to it, okay? And all I'm going to do is click and drag on my mouse, and it's going to drag out any various rectangle that I want. Now, there's more to this than what I'm going to explain now, but that'll be in the next video. Okay, so I'm going to let that go. And now what I've done is I've drawn a rectangle flat on the ground. Okay, so here I'm going to orbit around so you can see it. Here's the underside of it. Here it is from the side, from the front, so it has no thickness right now. And then we have this. So this is a two-dimensional shape. It's got north, south, east, west measurements, but it does not have up and down measurements, okay? So you can draw as many of these rectangles out. You can overlap them. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with it. Whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter, okay? So see, I can do that all day long. I'm going to Control Z these, so I just have the one. But I can draw rectangles all day long. If I wanted to click on that tool and draw circles, I can draw circles. If I want to click on that tool and I want to do hexagons and stuff like that, I can do hexagons and all kinds of stuff, okay? But it allows you, this tool allows you to draw two-dimensional shapes flat on the ground. Now that brings us to the next tool, which is the most important tool in SketchUp. Right below the shape tool is going to be what's called the push-pull tool. This tool is very cool. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to make sure that that's on the push-pull. And what you've got is a little, like a boxy looking thing with an arrow pointing up. This should be key to tell you what exactly this tool does. Ready, set, click on. So you notice I move my arrow over and it changes the screen. It looks like it's got little dots all over it. So click on and hold your push-pull. Click and hold and move your mouse up. And now I have created a rectangular prism in my 3D world. Okay, so that's the basis of this whole program. I can push and pull any one of these geometric planes that exist. Since a rectangular prism or a cube has 6 geometric planes, I can push 1, 2, 3, rotate around, 4, 5, underneath 6 of them, okay? I can do that in this program. Anytime I have a geometric plane, I can push it or pull it, okay? So push, pull, anytime I want. The fun thing is you can do even cool stuff with the same tools I just showed you. I can click on and get another one of these. Watch this. And now notice I don't have a blue rectangle anymore. I have a red one. The red one tells me it's facing this line. Blue tells me it's going up and down line, faces the up and down axis, and I'll rotate around. Green tells me it's going in this direction. So notice the colors change depending on where I put it. Watch this. This is cool. Grab, draw a box. By drawing a box, I've created another geometric plane, and now I'm going to grab my push-pull tool, and I can pull it out. Or, this is the cool part, I can push it back to the center, and then I can go right back here with my icon and touch the back of my shape, and it'll say on edge, and then I let it go, and I have created a hole in my shape. This is very, very key to this program because now instead of having 6 geometric sides, I now have the 6, 7, 8, 9, and rotate under. I now have 10 geometric planes. You guys see how I did that? It's pretty cool. So again, I can do all kinds of crazy hooby-jooby with just those basic tools that I showed you there. Okay, so that's the shape tool and the push-pull. 2 most important tools you can use in this program. Okay, now there's other kinds of tools also. We've got, geez, what do I want to show you first? We've got, like I said, we've got the circle, so we can do that. Drop it, push-pull. Now I got a cylinder. Now I can't push-pull the round surface, but I can push-pull the flat surfaces, okay? If I want to get super fancy, like I said before, I've got my polygon tool, push-pull, look at that. Now this is really interesting, watch this. So this is going to pull this out in a certain direction, a straight direction, watch this. Oh. You didn't think that would look like that, did you? I can create any number of exciting shapes with this. That looks like a little star. Isn't that fun? So cool stuff, okay? Experiment, pause the video, and experiment with your shape tool and your push-pull tool. It's a lot of fun. Don't use the pencil. Don't use just the shape tools for now. Play around with them. Have fun with it. Pause the video, whatever, okay? So if you pause the video and you're back now, we've got our shape tools and our push-pull tools that we know a lot about now. So there's a lot of fun things that you can create with this deal. Okay, so hopefully you played around and you made some stuff. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the eraser tool. Okay, so I'm going to click on this eraser tool right here, and it's going to bring up a little pink eraser. This tool is very, very dangerous. Okay, watch what happens when I accidentally erase one corner. Click. Oh my gosh, what just happened? Holy cow, you have completely destroyed everything that you've worked for. It's a mess. Well, sort of. Okay, so what happens with an eraser tool, see what I did there? It's gone, okay, is I'm erasing segments of lines, okay? And a lot of kids will go in here and they'll just start clicking and clicking and clicking, erasing, erasing. You got all these line segments and geometric planes and all this crazy stuff that gets around. And then you move around and you orbit, you go, oh my gosh, what did I do? Be careful with the eraser tool. It's a nightmare. So all I'm hitting here is Control Z. So let's say I did make that mistake. Click. Oh no, what did I do? How can I fix this? Hit Control Z. Boom. It's back. It's fine. Control Z saves your life sometimes. When you make a mistake, Control Z can fix it. Okay. Now, one of the things you may just be saying to yourself, well, Mr. Manning, I want this whole thing erased. I want it gone. So I'm going to take my eraser and I'm just going to just do this all over the whole thing. I'm going to make it go away. Why? Take your arrow tool, click 1, 2, 3 times. If you click 3 times, it's going to select the entire object, and all you have to do is hit the delete button, and it's gone. Okay? If I do, for some reason, want to select only one geometric plane, I can select it, it'll highlight it with the dots, and I can hit delete, and now look, I can see inside my form. Okay, so that's really helpful when you're doing stuff like where you want to remove a side of a building, or you want to take a wall away, or you want to do this, you want to do that. But if you select the line segment, you'll see that by its highlighted blue. That's going to take away two sides because it's going to take away the two geometric planes that that line is attached to. So that causes big issues. Okay, so again, be careful. If you make a mistake, hit Control Z, you're good. But that eraser tool is very, very dangerous. You have to be very careful when you're using it. Now, let's talk about very quickly measurement and grouping of projects. So let me show you what we can do. So there's a cool tool down here. Let's say I'm going to get rid of this whole thing. So how did I do that? I triple clicked it and I'm going to hit delete. Okay, so the whole thing's gone. Now let's say I wanted to draw a box that was 1 foot by 2 foot. Okay, so there's two ways I can do that. I can grab this tape measure tool down here, and that's going to give me a tape measure. So what I can do is, you see those green lines, red lines, everything. So I can click on that green line, and it's going to jump and say green axis. And I'm going to click and drag out a guide. Okay, and that guide can be measured. So here's what you can do. So let's say I want it to be, let's change that measurement. Let's say I want it to be 5 feet wide by 10 feet tall. So I'm going to grab my measuring tool. I'm going to pull this out and I'm going to just let go of it. Before I do anything else, I'm touching nothing else. I'm going to type in 5, and then I'm going to hit the quotation button, which is going to give me a single tick mark, the apostrophe button. It's going to give me a single tick mark, and that stands for feet. Now I'm going to hit the enter button. Watch what happens. Boop. So I told it by typing in the number and hitting that foot mark, which is the apostrophe button. It's telling the computer, I want that to be 5 feet. Bam, it's 5 feet. Let's say I want the other measurement of this box to be 10 feet. So I click and drag it out. I type 10 apostrophe and enter. Bam. From this origin point, it's 10 feet this way. It's 5 feet this way. Watch what I do. Grab a square tool from the origin point, drag it out. It'll snap to the intersection. Boom, there's a 5 foot by 10 foot square. Bam, pull it this way. Type in 22 feet tall. Boom, now it's 22 feet tall. There it is. I have an exact measurement of a box. That's one way to do it. Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z, Control Z. Back to this. Or I can just drag out the box and I can hit 5 apostrophe 5 feet, comma 10 feet. Enter. Boom, 5 foot by 10 foot. It snaps to it. Now I can pull it up. 22 apostrophe, bam, 22 feet. Either way you want to do it, you can. You can also measure stuff. You can draw guides. Watch this. This is cool. I can go from a corner here if I want to draw a guide that's 2 feet. 2 feet. Boom. Watch this. Snap. It'll snap to 2 feet. 2 feet. Whoops. Made a mistake. Control Z. 2 feet, which leaves me 2 feet here. Watch this. 2 feet. 2 feet. So whatever line I decide to drag that from on here is the line that will drag out the guide. Watch this. This is cool. Check it out. So now I can do this a couple different ways, but now from here, I'm going to show you the line tool. So I'm going to go up here to my pencil. Watch this. Click on the pencil. Here we go. Boom, boom. Following my guides. Push, pull. Set of stairs. Pretty cool. Okay, now what I use the eraser for more than anything else is I'm going to erase my guides. You know they're erased when they turn blue, okay? But notice I did it to the left of the shape and underneath the shape. I didn't do it on the shape because I don't want to erase part of my shape, okay? So that's your measurement tools. That's how you use your measurement tools. So if you want to mess around with those, pause the video, mess around with those, and then come on back, and I'm going to show you guys just one more little bitty thing. All right, here we go. cool. Hopefully you're unpaused now. Maybe you played around with it. Maybe you didn't. Watch this cool little deal. Okay. Ready when I told you earlier, I said you can select the whole thing and delete it. Watch this. I can select the whole thing with a triple click. And now I'm going to right click and I'm going to create, make component right there. Boom. And it's going to ask you all this stuff. You can call it component one. You can type in blah, 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 blah here. It doesn't matter. If you want to name it, you can. You don't have to. Okay. So I've created a component. Look, now I select it, click one time. It selects the whole thing. It's drawn a box around it like it's its own individual deal. Watch this. Control C, Control V. Oh, now I got two of them. Look at that. I copied and pasted it. Okay, so now I got two. But the cool thing about them being a component is this. Ready? Check this out. Boom. Edit component. A component you would use in SketchUp. Oh, look at that. It drew it on this one. Anytime you would use this, anytime you want to create multiples of the same thing, but you don't want to edit all of them, you would create one and then allow it to, when you change it, you can copy and paste them, put them in place, and then you can change one and it'll change all of them. That's why you would create a component. Watch. Very cool function. Okay. And now I'm going to go to close component. And now I've got two that are exactly the same, even after I changed them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that. Okay. Now I've got this right back to where it was. It's not a component or a group anymore. Okay. So watch what I do here. 1, 2, 3, make group. A group is different than a component. Copy, paste. Here's that. Right click, edit group. Ready for this? This is super cool. Now they are the same, but not the same. Groups are edited individually. Components are edited all at once. Okay, so if you want to create an object that is individual in SketchUp, created as a group. If you want to create a repeated object that you can continually manipulate, create it as a component. Okay, that's a big deal in this program. So groups, components, different things like that, all the other tools we talked about, guides, key controls, all that kind of stuff. That's what this video basically covers. Now, the neat part about this, the coolest thing ever, right up here in the corner. Hit save. A lot of kids forget to hit save. This is the last thing in the video. Hit save. Title it Basic SketchUp Video. Basic SketchUp Video. I'm going to hit OK. And it's going to save this directly to my Google Drive. Okay, it's going to bring up a folder. I got a folder right here called SketchUp for Schools. Boom, select it. I'm going to hit select, and it's going to save right there, saved, and it's done. Okay, so any questions, email me, send me stuff in class, but that's the basics of Google SketchUp. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later.